This is my launch PSP from 2005 here in North America, and well, I've had it ever since. And despite me playing on other PSPs over the years in terms of like the new models, I always came back to this one. So there's a lot of play data on this. It's just been so long since I last fired it up, so I thought let's take a look now and see what media files are on here, game files, saved games, all that stuff. So 17 some odd years later, here's what's on my PSP. Now, before we start really exploring here, I do want to take a look at the memory stick size. I've got 750 megabytes free, but I don't remember what size the one is that I have. 2 gigabytes, actually. Okay. It's actually... and I remember this quite well. This was large back then, and it was also quite expensive, and this was the format that Sony was using for their cameras and also PSP, so there wasn't really many reasons to have that unless you were actively buying Sony products. But one really cool thing that I did find was this holiday buying guide from GameStop and EB Games. So this was shortly after PlayStation 3 came out, if it was not obvious from this front picture. But this was also a crazy trip to look at. Welcome to the world of Sony. And for the memory stick and going to the PSP section, I wanted to quickly show off the price of that. So 2 gigs was $75 back then for Memory Stick Pro Duo. I was never able to I could never afford the 4 gig one, but it always came in these really wacky translucent colors. But the one that your PSP came with, if you got the entertainment pack, was a solid black, and usually, of course, a much smaller size. But this was really cool. And of course, I know you want to look at the PS3 stuff. I'll show that real quick. Pretty dope, of course. $600. Some of the original MSRP for these wacky accessories, like the memory card adapter, which right now that is quite rare, $80, $90 on eBay. The original remote. Your only option for a new controller was a 6-axis. Of course, the component AV cables. Always a trip to look at some of that stuff. But let's get a closer shot of the PSP and start exploring here. So I think what I want to do first is, look at that, digital comics. That was always also a very interesting thing that Sony did, kind of later in the life cycle of PSP. I'm not even sure if I have something on here. I guess we can jump into that real quick and just take a look. But yeah, this was a small little initiative that Sony did, and that one item on the XMB where it said extra was not there until later on when a firmware update allowed that section to exist. Digital comics. So this is where you could start storing a bunch of comics on here. So yeah, I don't have many. I wasn't really much of a comic book reader. Apparently I had Archie and Young Salem. I cannot for the life of me remember why I have these or how they got on here, or I imagine these were free, because again, I'm not really a comic book person, but it was something where I kind of jumped in to take a look at it. But yeah, you got comics on. Oh, look at that. It's got great transitions and everything. I'm genuinely surprised, actually. I don't really... I remember this initiative. I remember it being available, but I did not play around with it too much. But yeah, quite interesting that this was a thing back then. So yeah, we're going to bounce out of here already. Alright, photos. So yeah, I mean, this was the weird thing, right? You could store files on your PSP, and I certainly did that, because I liked the convenience of it. And so right away, okay, well first this folder was on my PlayStation 3, if you remember that, what's on my PS3 video. So you can see this was my my old dog, definitely long gone unfortunately, but he was a sweetheart, a wonderful pit bull. Now I remember these images are such a high resolution, so it takes a while for them to come in on the PSP there, but there he is on the futon. What a good boy. And this one was one of those dumb things I did when I was younger, where this is, in fact, this very PSP, and you can see this old monitor in the background. But what I did was I took a picture, saved it, put it on here, and then kept doing that because I thought that was somehow funny. And this PSP, if you can see, I put a skin on it. That was from decalgirls.com. I put an aftermarket thumbstick on there, and I had like I tied something to the end there. I remember, I think it was like a fuzzy dice or something with like Mario mushrooms on there, and you can see from the condition of that little hook section, I definitely use that a lot. So My launch PSP is okay looking, but it's certainly got some wear. I used it a lot. But yeah, that was on there. And now you can see I've got some backgrounds for Daxter. So that was cool. Also, I saved wallpapers for Saw 2, it looks like, which I actually like the Saw franchise a lot. So I used to watch those back in the day, and I guess I saved those. Oh, these were from E-Bomb's World. That's what... See, that's what I'm saying. This thing fit in that weird category of, like, the pre-smartphone era. Like, nowadays, that's so commonly... It's such a common thing now to, like, have memes saved on your phone. And I was doing that with my PSP. And so this is a trip to look at. Yeah, this is like an old Photoshop of whoever that guy was. Maybe this has taken some people back if you actually used to use those sites back then, like Newgrounds and E-Bomb's World. Here's some screenshots I saved of Diamond and Pearl back in the day. These were the first screenshots that came out of the game, I believe. And I was so excited. I was so pumped. And more movie posters. I was saving cat pictures. Some things don't change. Oh, a Nissan 350Z. That was young Ryan's dream car. Things change. I would still actually like a Nissan. The new Z looks really nice, actually. Yeah, look at these are just like really dumb, silly pictures. I shouldn't be chuckling at that, but yeah, there's a ton on here. Look, tiny small cars. Pretty China. Yeah, sometimes I had some backgrounds on here. Actually, I'm curious right away if I have some themes saved down here. Old themes, classic themes rather, or custom themes I should say. So my last used wallpaper was a PlayStation logo. And my last used custom theme was I only have two on here, like a Windows XP type theme, and PSP, New Super Mario Brothers themed by Sonic 1366. That was definitely a really cool era, or a really cool thing in the PS3, PSP era, is completely custom, not only backgrounds, but straight up you could do a totally custom XMB with different icons that you can set, and it's not something where you have to go through the hassle of, say, jailbreaking your PSP or your PS3. It was something Sony totally supported back then. Of course, that's not something they would do today, but it was really cool back then. So, yeah, going back to pictures, if it loads, because it's a bit slow. I've got a lot on here, a decent amount on here. Friends. A Hershey's bar I saved. Fat frog. Fat rodent. More car stuff. Weird memes. Cat stuff. It's wild, man. Seeing this stuff again. Huh. More backgrounds. A cat on being plated as garnished up as a cheeseburger. Yes, dear. Did anybody watch that show? That was on TBS back then, which, I don't know, I kind of liked it. More PlayStation 3 stuff. I saved a picture of a quad stacker from Burger King. That's really strange. Why did I do that? Now, I do know why I liked... See, the thing... Here's a shameful thing, right? I do enjoy fast food. Not proud of it. But when I was younger, me and Terrell... He lived very close to a Burger King. And you're young, you walk around, or you bike around, but he lived very close to one, so we always ate at that location all the time, and I loved the Burger King quad stacker. And if I was feeling spicy, I'd go for the quad, which means 4 meat patties. That's how we do it here in the United States. But sometimes I would get like the double or triple, and if I was feeling it that day, I would go for the quad. And I guess young me decided to save this in 2007 as a picture because, I don't know, quite strange. Oh, but I have, these are the final pictures already. But look at this, got some 10-2 backgrounds on here as well that you could save as a, well, it's weird how they've got these little templates for I would assume the XMB on any either PSP or PS3, but very cool. That's strange to see again. Music, so I definitely use this functionality as well. Got some Eminem on here, CKY, that's like the old like pre-Jackass stuff. Aaliyah and Timberland, Chop Suey, Down the Signal. GTA 4 loading screen. You can't tell me this wasn't so cool. The first time you loaded up Grand Theft Auto 4, ooh, it was so cool. I can't even hear it right now because the audio is going to my mic or to my camera, so it's a direct feed, but this was so good. And it's still one of my favorite things about loading up GTA 4 to this day. Panic Attack, Podcast Beyond, OGs right there, the old IGM Podcast Beyond crew. That was definitely one of the early podcasts I used to listen to. Pokemon Coliseum, PS Nation, that's another very old podcast as well that I used to listen to. DMX, RIP, Michael Jackson, more GTA 4 stuff. Vice City theme. Not a whole lot of songs on here, but I did have some videos as well. Let's take a look at those. Or I would assume they're still on here. Yes, they are. Okay. Have some music videos on here. We're not going to be starting those. Old PSP commercial. This was so good. Actually, this was really funny marketing, where the squirrel has to throw the nut.
Come out and play! I can't! I'm playing nut! But there's portable nut! What? Yeah! It's a nut you can play with outside!
PSP. It's like a nut you can play.
Now, I couldn't hear that, but I know what the dialogue is. Oh, yeah, see. And this is another cool thing that Sony did. It sucks that, like, a good portion of this video is Sony used to do this, now they don't. But on the PlayStation Store, they used to let you download very high-quality versions of their latest commercials, or game trailers as well. And it's really telling how things have changed over time. You know, no company really does that anymore, where they let you download anything locally to your computer. It's all embedded video and live streams. Nowadays, they make it very hard for you to actually get the original source file. But Sony, like a lot of companies back then, made it very transparent, and they had download links right on the store where you can download 720p or 1080p versions of their commercials. These, I imagine, are, of course, bite-sized versions for PSP. Oh, this is an old trailer as well. Let's start.
Dude, I just hooked up my new PS3. Yeah, I got Resistance 2 on the new Motor Storm.
Bring it!
See you in 10. Hi.
What's that?
It's our new movie downloading machine.
That's a PlayStation 3.
No, look. Hancock, The Dark Knight.
Or 50 First Dates.
Now?
Now you can download thousands of your favorite movies and TV shows.
Interesting. What was in here? I saved Salad Fingers on here. 2006. See? It's actually amazing. What, you know, again, pre-iPhone era, if you wanted to show somebody Salad Fingers, like, you had to have them over to your house, and you were the weird person that you either were introduced to it by somebody else, or you were the one introducing Salad Fingers to other people. I was mobile with Salad Fingers, so I got a lot done back then. Episode 2, Mayhem, it's here, 2006. Is this, I think it is. Yes, this is another promotional video way back. Ooh, this is rough. Promotional video back then from PlayStation 3's launch in New York City. Line for PS3 begins here. Yeah, this was pretty cool. Some interviews and stuff. This was the big Sony party, or back then during the Sony Plaza, and of course they had celebrities out and stuff. First PlayStation 3 owner. Yeah, I thought that was really cool at the time. I guess I kept that saved. This is so wild seeing this again. Okay, but let's look at the, and there's nothing really too interesting over here. Registered with Mystic, my PlayStation 3. Okay, so I do know I have Grand Theft Auto on here, or currently inserted, but save data utility, we'll start with that. There's the comics, Motorstorm Arctic Edge, game profile, The City of Final Fantasy, 66 hours. Good lord. That was back in 2012. Luminous 2, 12 hours on Luminous 2. Flow, Final Fantasy Tactics. I did not care for this game, if I'm being honest. The original Luminous, Resistance Retribution. What a great game. Best played on PlayStation Vita, actually, because you can map that second stick. That's why Vita is just so good if you've got a lot of digital PSP content. Otherwise, you're not using UMDs, and I only have this game on UMD. Well, no, I think I did buy it again to play it on Vita for that second stick functionality. Patapon 3, Pinball Heroes. I got 10 hours on that. Judgment demo. I just bought the physical of that because I mentioned I only played the demo, I think. So I still have the full game now. Another file for Luminous 2. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Sense Me channels. That was also a really strange thing. Sony had so many weird apps back then. Pixel Junk. Little Big Planet. More Arctic Edge. The Lost Frontier. I have 5% completion. 12 minutes. I think you all know what happened there. Motorstorm, Arctic Edge again, vehicle profiles, God of War. Gotta have some God of War on here. And I know some of this was deleted over time, so not everything's gonna be on here. Beats. This is a really, I feel like this is a gem, like a hidden gem on PSP. What this game does, it's a like a music. What's the genre? Like a beat, music beat type game where you're hitting buttons to match the beat of the song. But you can import, not even import, it just reads your memory stick and you can play with the songs on your memory stick, and the game just kind of has a very crude little algorithm to sort of match the beats of that song. Not perfect, but it's still pretty cool that you can throw any song at this and it will try to create gameplay based on that song. So there's that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force. Some PS1 data for Spyro the Dragon. Luminous 2 again. I've got a lot of Luminous stuff on here, apparently. One of the best PSP games. Killzone. Did not get very far in that at all. Liberation. This was like the one like odd man out in the Killzone franchise where it's kind of an isometric viewpoint. Is it considered an RTS? I haven't played, like I barely played Liberation, so I guess I couldn't tell you. Crisis Core. DBZ. Shin Budokai. Castlevania, Wild Arms, good stuff, good stuff. Ace Combat, Crash, Daxter, 98% completion, so I kept that one. Kept the save for Death Jr. 2. Me and My Katamari, and I've been meaning to go back to this game actually and replay it. Vice City Stories, Underground 2, great game. Liberty City Stories, 100% completion. I was all over this game back when it came out. Tiger Woods. Occasionally I'll play a sports game, and oftentimes it'll be something golf related. Beautiful Joe's on, I want to say Vita. PSP. Untold Legends. More Wipeout. Underground Rivals. Also a fantastic PSP game. That was the one launch title I got. Also Death Jr. 94% completion. Now, games that are saved on here, and this I really don't remember what could be on here. My X-Bun's a little finicky. Okay, Worms Battle Islands, and I think some of these are, well, that might be the full game. I know there's demos on here, like, well, Pinball Heroes, I guess, is a bit different, and this is a very interesting title in that this is one of the earliest kind of free-to-play models being explored on PS3 and PSP. So you download the game for free, if I'm remembering correctly, mind you, but you get one free table, and then the extra tables are paid, right? It's DLC, but it's one of the early free-to-play models back then. Pixel Junk Monsters Deluxe, and also LBP saved on here. Crystal Defenders demo, so yeah, this is something where I actually own this on PS3, and again, this is something where it's so early, so this situation predates when when cross-buy became very prevalent across PS3, 4, and Vita. So if a game came out on PSP and PS3, more often than not, you weren't granted a free PSP version. You had to buy it. So I have this on PS3. Rock Band Unplugged, the demo, but I recently bought the UMD for that. There's Beats again, Medal of Honor Heroes. I played this demo a lot just because it was like kind of a fun 2-minute thing you could do. Japanese, Everybody's Golf. Flow, yeah, don't have a whole lot of save games on here, but Flow, once it got a native PSP release, I was pretty pumped about that. And then also the, Ape Escape racing game. So that's on here as well. And I always like when developers take full use of the XMB, where they can display not only a custom picture, but they can also put a very low-res small clip in that section right there. But that's it. And again, the UMD I have is Liberty City Stories. What a trip! So, and I've got other models that have different saves on it, but you can see some of these saves were dated like 2009, 2012. So I was always going back to this model, which I'm not really sure why, but yeah, this one saw a lot of play time. So this PSP is not in the greatest shape, which means I might have to pick up a newer new to me 1000 model to kind of act as an example piece for what I want to do when I build sort of a display cabinet of various PlayStation models over the years. But wild. It's so cool to look back on that. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to consider subscribing for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mystic Ryan, and that is it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.